Test, test. This is very low. Test, test. Sound check. Oh, I can hear myself some in this in the headset, but not too loud. What about this being real low? The Dayton Flyers and the Michigan Wolverines get together for club hockey in Springfield, Ohio on a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone, from the Chiller rink in Springfield, Ohio. My name is Kent Jacobs, and welcome once again to Dayton Flyers hockey. The Flyers against the Michigan Wolverines club team tonight. Flyers coming off a big win. Last home game that they had, a come from behind win against Ohio University in a thriller. That game last weekend. And they are back on what is home ice for them tonight, but obviously not the regular home rink. They're playing up here in Springfield, which is northeast of Dayton, if you're not from this area. And it's a nice new rink up here, but there won't be a crowd really on hand from because our normal rink in Kettering is much closer to the University of Dayton than this venue in Springfield. Yeah, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm told the Flyers will be playing up in Michigan. The original schedule had this game, the home game, tomorrow in Kettering, and then the Flyers going up to Michigan Saturday. Well, obviously these two teams got together and they moved the games up, and they moved the Dayton home game to Springfield tonight, and the home game for Michigan tomorrow evening. Of course, we will not be carrying the game tomorrow night in Michigan. Starting tonight in goal for the Dayton Flyers will be the regular netminder, Jack Studnicka. Jack comes in with a mark of 1-8 with a 5.17 goals against and an 8.69 save percentage for the Wolverines of Michigan. Grant Newhart, he's 1-0 with an even 1 goals against and a 9.50 save percentage. The Flyers in their home white sweaters with the Columbia blue and red trim, and the Wolverines in their traditional maize and blue, maize being the yellowish type color, and they're in their navy blue uniforms. Flyers coming back the other way. Starting out is Althoff. Sebastian Althoff carries into the far end. The Flyers with their backs to us in this opening period. Of course, a different look on your screen for us. Here's a shot. It's turned away by Studnicka. Of course, when we were in Kettering, we were at center ice, looking straight down at the middle of the rink, and we can see both ends of the rink equally well. Well, tonight we're in a mezzanine area behind glass on one end of the rink, so way at the other end of the rink, it's sometimes hard to see what's going on. So I'll do my best, folks. There's a puck shot down to that far end. Puck shot away to center ice. Here come the Wolverines. Puck tipped back by Gillespie, had it for a moment. Flyers shoot to center. The Flyers change as Stuber tried to get a stick on the puck as he came onto the ice, but it skittered past him. Burke lost it for Michigan behind the Dayton net. There's a shot, save, Studnicka, and with Burke prodding at the puck, Jack will hold on to it. Nothing. We're 2 minutes in to the opening period. Rutherford will take the face-off for Dayton against Jimmy Nellis of Michigan. from the draw. Puck shot in the slot, shot, and a save off the shoulder of Studnicka. Wolverines had it right across the slot for a moment. It was Collins trying to get a stick on it, but unable to. Stuber slides the puck to the center red line. Dumping in for the Flyers was Kostelk. And after it, Brett Smith. Brett Smith has it stripped away. Wolverines come back. Rabishko. Or check that. Vanderost. Vanderost flips it in the slot area. It's broken up. Kostelk coming back for Dayton. Kostelk over the Michigan line, but lost the handle. Schulman for Michigan. Comes to the right wing boards at center. Picked up for the Flyers by Lipari. Lipari in the corner. Wraps it around behind the Wolverine net. And Michigan clears it away. Puck comes all the way down to the Dayton goal line at this end. Schulman shovels it in the corner. Core fighting for it. Along with Schulman of Michigan. Lipari for Dayton comes away with it. Nick Lipari pass deflected away back to teammate Bobby Bradley. Bradley flips to center ice. No score. We're 3.5 minutes into the opening period. Lipari is able to hit Ward at center. He's checked. Bradley chops it back to center. Neither team has really been able to come up with a good scoring opportunity as yet. Bradley flips it right into his own bench as he tried to clear it off the boards, and that'll result in a face-off in the Dayton zone to the left of Jack Studnicka. The Dayton Flyers come into this game with a record of 2 wins, 10 losses, no ties. Michigan comes in 9-5-0. The Wolverines are coached by Ryan Brown, assistant coach Ian Quant. The Flyers coached by Tony Morris. There's a shot blocked on defense. Assistant coaches for the Flyers to Tony Morris are Chad Morris, Brandon Moravec, and Chris Sands. Flyers in their own end. Picking up the puck was Pompina, but there was a whistle. We've got a holding minor penalty. It looks like it's on Dayton, and it'll be on Rory Brennan. So Rory Brennan, freshman out of Upper Arlington, Ohio. He likes to ski when he's not playing hockey. Rory is going to take a seat in the penalty box for a couple of minutes. So a Michigan power play with 15:25 to go first period. From the face-off, flipped up high into the left wing corner of the Dayton zone. Several players fight for it. Here's a one-time blast from the right point by Vanderost of Michigan, and it's kicked out by Studnicka. Flyers coming back the other way, but the netminder of Michigan, Newhart, is able to clear it away from the Flyer who was cutting in. That was Connor Constable. Back come the Wolverines. Touch pass, center point, back to the circle. Kicked out, a big shot. Studnicka the save. Now here's a sweep shot that's fanned on by the Wolverines' Collins. Wolverines unable to hold the puck in. Newhart out of the net. He'll set it up for teammate Vanderost. A minute left in the Michigan power play. No score. 14-15 left to go in the period. Here's a centering pass right on net, and Studnicka able to make the stop with Stabnik and Shooty, two Wolverines that were trying to get a tip on that shot. Left wing circle face off from the draw. Shooty along the boards, tips it into the corner for teammate Stabnik. He's checked by Bradley. Shooty left it for Huber. Here's Huber along the boards, drops it back to the point. Wrist shot, high and wide. 20 seconds left in the Michigan power play. Wolverines trying to get a shot away. Here's a centering pass, but nobody home, and it carries all the way back to center ice. There's 5 seconds left in the man advantage for Michigan. Huber carries in, drops it off, penalty killed off here for the Flyers is Rutherford. Rutherford, a long shot from center and a save made by Grant Newhart. Puck still in play from the rebound. 13 minutes left in the period. We're scoreless, and it'll be an icing violation against the Wolverines. And we'll take a face off all the way back to the other end. Michigan Wolverines club team, their last action last weekend, they split a home and home series against the Miami Redhawks, the same as the Flyers did when they played Miami. The Wolverines losing 6-2 and then winning 4-3 in overtime. For the Dayton Flyers, McClymans dumps in the Michigan zone. 12 and a half to go in the period. Wolverines. Schulman along the boards. He's checked. One of the Flyers hits the ice. There's a shot at the other end. Newhart got his pad on that one, and the puck is cleared away. Flyers in their own end. Picking up the puck is Brennan. He tips to center ice. Volleyed right back into the Dayton zone. Played by Gillespie. Wraps it along the boards. The Wolverines trying to intercept it, but Gillespie picks it back up. Tom will dump it in and then head to the bench on a line change with 11 and a half to go in the period. Loose puck at center. Here's Brett Smith. Smith checked by Collins of Michigan. Back for the Wolverines is Ethan Vanderoost. The Dutchman, we'll call him. That's 2 words, Vander and then Roast, R-O-E-S-T. There's a shot by Smith and the stick save made by Newhart. We're 9 minutes into period number 1 without a score. Vanderoost back to get it. Pass ahead, stolen away by Smith of Dayton. Smith to the right point. Flips in the circle for Kostelk, but it's intercepted and cleared away, and this will be icing against the University of Michigan. Got a couple of messages on our chat line. Walsh Jesuit Hockey says, let's go Flyers. Jake Day says, go Dayton Flyers, watching this game and the Columbus Blue Jackets playing the Philadelphia Flyers at the same time. So you're watching a couple of Flyer games tonight. Wolverines shot, stick save, Studnicka. That was off the stick of Wolverine Christian Pizzatello. Clock stop 10:22 to go. We appreciate anybody that wants to send us a message on our chat line, whether you're a Flyer fan or even if you're a Wolverine fan. You want to let us know what player you're rooting for or where you're watching from. Our last game against Ohio U, we had a viewer from Finland, of all places. Puck shot off the referee into the Dayton zone. Flyers pick the puck up. It's Costelk trying to flip it for Stuber, but broken up. There's a Flyer, Rutherford trying to get a shot away. And it looks like Newhart got a piece of that. Rutherford trying to get a shot again. Loose puck in front and right on the seat of his pants. His goalkeeper, Grant Newhart, looks like he kept the puck out. Again, from way down on this end, it's hard to see what's going on down there at the other end of the rink. No goal down there, so we remain scoreless. Steve Stabnick says game 2 against Dayton tomorrow night. So that was cleared up because of the original schedule had this Dayton home game against Michigan tomorrow night and Dayton up at Michigan Saturday night. So it looks like both schools got together and decided to move the two games up, and they moved the Dayton home game from Kettering to Springfield. So looks like we have a consensus that the Flyers will be up in Michigan tomorrow. And they have a couple of different rinks they play at up there, so I'm not sure which one they'll be at. Aiden Ward for the Flyers had it. He dropped it behind the Michigan net. Wolverines are able to clear the puck to center. Flyer back to get it is Rutherford. To Ward for McClymans, but that's stolen away. Flyers trying to regain possession. Now the Wolverines come back. There's a long shot high and wide off the stick of Wolverine Fisher Matthews. For Dayton, Gillespie wraps it around for Brennan. Brennan tied up. Ward bangs one of the Wolverines into the boards. They wrestle around. Now back is Pampina, and Pampina's shot is on net, and the save made by Grant Newhart. Grant Newhart just playing his second game of the season. Arctic Edge, I'm told. We've got, it's not at Yost Arena, which is the normal rink of the Wolverines. It's at Arctic Edge. I'm told there are a couple of Michigan rooters up here with us in the mezzanine, and our producer Jeff Duford was able to find that out. Here's Brett Smith of the Flyers. From behind his own net, starts out up the middle. Brett Smith to center ice. He'll sweep it into the Michigan zone at the other end. We're 7:40 left in the period. No score, and really not very many scoring chances for either team. Really quality. There's a shot, easy shot, just steered away by the big paddle stick of Jack Studnicka. Brett Smith again starting out. Pass on the left wing to center. Up for Umhafer. Colin Umhafer dumps in. Puck flips over the glass, and we'll have a face-off. Face off in the left wing circle of the Michigan zone. Down yonder, Spencer DeLeo takes the draw for Dayton. Wolverines win it. They carry back into the Dayton zone. Drop pass for Forstner. Forstner drops it back to the point. Held in there. Now it's stolen away by Umhafer of Dayton. Colin Umhafer anticipated that pass and picked it off and dumps it in behind the Michigan net. Wolverines start back this way. Another pass is broken up by Dayton's Joe Costelk. Bobby, or check that. That's Tom Rutherford holds the puck in for Dayton. Dumps behind the Wolverine net. Now cleared back the other way. Right on goal. The save made by Studnicka. No icing since the puck was on goal. Here's Declan Ployce of Dayton. Declan hip check down to the ice, and the Wolverines steal the puck. Here's a screenshot blocked on defense. Puck loose in the corner. Bradley trying to flip it high to teammate at center ice, Costelk. Costelk checked at center by Wolverine Matthews. Flyers again on their own end. It is correction. Gillespie. These guys have switched a few of their uniform numbers. I'm trying to get used to a few new numbers. There's a shot from the wing by Schutte of Michigan. That's wide. There's McClymans for Dayton. Dumps in. Wolverines start out with 5 minutes to play in the period. 0-0. Flyers, Wolverines. Brett Smith drop pass behind the net for teammate Pichetti. Pichetti pass for McClymans. McClymans back to Smith. Smith sidesteps. A nice nifty move around Wolverine Cullen Core. Long shot the other way, and the save made by Newhart, and he will hold on to the rebound. Unofficial shots on goal favoring Michigan 8-4. Those are unofficial stats. Shot save from the draw. So there's a shot on net for the Flyers. Now Brett Smith gathers the puck, crosses center into the Michigan zone. Brett Smith centers, and play is broken up. The Colin Umhafer was trying to get a shot away in the slot and got bumped off the puck. Here's Pompina. Pass intercepted. Backhand shot steered away by Jack Studnicka. Studnicka's play as the season has gone on has gotten better and better in between the pipes for the Flyers. Here's Pichetti. He drops it behind the net. Smith after it. Nellis tried to steal the puck from Michigan, but overskated it. Puck loose at the center red line. 3.5 to go in the period. Wolverines carry back in. Drop pass. Poke checked away. Ployce for Dayton tried to get it to Umhafer, but it's stolen. Now the Flyers get it back. Umhafer, number 13, checked into the boards out of the play. Wolverines wrap it around, stolen by the Flyers. Puck dumped in the Michigan zone. 3 minutes to go now in a scoreless first period. Loose puck for the Flyers. DeLeo flips ahead for Stuber. His shot. Save made by Newhart. Nice wrist shot by Stuber, who's one of the hottest Flyers scoring wise his last couple of games. Boy, Big Ted was a one-man show in that marathon shootout we had against the Ohio Bobcats. He almost won the game for them, but they fell one goal short in the shootout after somewhere around 8, 9, 10 rounds. Here's a stolen puck in front, and a tip by Forstner is just wide. Wow, stolen puck right at the side of the net, centering pass to Forstner. He got a good tip on it, but it was just wide. That was the best scoring chance of the night so far for either team. Here come the Flyers with 1:45 to go in the period. Ployce for Rutherford. Sidesteps a Wolverine. Will backhand it into the Michigan zone. Back for Michigan is Matthews. Fisher Matthews passes ahead on the left wing. Center ice shot. Blocker save. Rebound. Still loose. Flyers pick it up. Here's McClymans drops it back for Brennan. Brennan passed to center off a stick. Flyers back to get it. Is Gillespie. Gillespie pass at center ice for Ward. Aiden Ward, long shot from center. Save made by Newhart. Under a minute to go in the period. It's been a free-flowing period. Just one penalty, so cleanly played. Just up and down, up one end and back the other all period long, and there's been a few scoring chances. Centering pass in the slot. It's behind Michigan's Nellis. Puck shot behind the Dayton net, intercepted there by Rory Brennan. He'll flip out of the zone to Ward. Ward into the Michigan zone. Centering pass. They score! Aiden Ward with a great centering pass. I believe it was Kostelk. Let's see. We'll see who comes out of the pack. I believe it was Kostelk with the tip. Let me see. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's Colin Umhafer, number 13, not number 12. So Colin Umhafer. So Colin Umhafer, a tip on a great centering pass by Aiden Ward. 9 seconds left in the period. 1-0 Dayton. Puck shot along the left wing boards. The buzzer sounds the end of period number 1. Well, a great hookup by Ward and Colin Umhafer. And the Flyers, a very nice period for the home team. They lead at 1-0 after one. The goal scorer, Colin Umhafer. Colin out of Long Island, New York. Umhafer spelled Umhafer. Freshman, business student, likes to snowboard and play baseball when he's not playing hockey. And Aiden Ward had the assist on that beautiful centering pass. Aiden out of Buffalo, New York, mechanical engineer major. He likes to lift weights when he's okay. And Aiden likes to lift weights when he's not playing hockey. It looks like it. He's a well put together fella. And for Colin Umhafer, That is his second goal of the season. And for Aiden Ward, his second assist. So that is where we stand. After one period of play, the Flyers won, the Wolverines nothing. Unofficial shots favoring Michigan 11-10. After one period of play. Did not mention the officials. I was unable to get their names. Ty the Tank Wilkinson is one of them. And I should remember the names of these other fellows, but I can't see them well enough to make them out. But so we have three official, two referees and a linesman tonight, and I can't remember the name of the one young fella that's out there. So got a couple of messages on our chat. Again, if you want to send us a message, just type it in. You might have to become a member. You have to become a member of the or subscribe. Oh, you don't have to. Okay, so you can just type it in. Okay, Jake Day says for those interested, it's Blue Jackets 5, Philadelphia Flyers 2. Just now wrapping up, and that's a big win for Columbus Blue Jackets. They've really struggled. I think they're like 3-9 on the season. So that would be a big win for them. Steve Bradley says, "Hi, Kent." Hello, Steve. Great job as always. Thank you very much. Tuning in from Rochester, New York. Who needs a bad Thursday night football game on Amazon Prime? Right. We can have Flyer hockey on YouTube. Go Flyers. That's right. You got it, Steve. So we appreciate Steve getting in. Again, we had confirmation about the game tomorrow night. Steve Stabnick. And Steve is affiliated with the Michigan Wolverines as um, there's a Wolverine by that name who is Brandon Stabnick. So he's maybe Brandon's dad, maybe. But he said the game is tomorrow night up in Michigan at Arctic Edge Ice Arena in Canton, Michigan, off I-75. Our engineer, producer, camera operator, Jeff Duford, used to work up there. Is that right? At the Denny's in Ann Arbor and the Denny's in Canton. What size of a town is Canton, Michigan? 30,000. It's the kind of size of like Xenia. Okay. Okay. Well, how big of a town is Ann Arbor? Because of all the college. Oh, okay. Oh, Eastern Michigan. Is that Chippewas? Hurons. Oh, Hurons was a good name. Oh, what? Oh, okay. Well, they could say they named it after the lake. You know, I suggested, and I shouldn't say, but Cleveland Indians, of course, changed their name, and I said, well, I'll tell you what, why not change the logo from Chief Wahoo, the guy, the smiling Indian with the feather in his head, change it to a Swami with a turban and make it Indians from India. Maybe the India people from India, they wouldn't mind. Now, you have Chief Wahoo with a turban? No? Okay. Just a thought. At any rate, let's see. Steve Stabnick says, yes, Brandon's dad. Okay, Steve. Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. And Julie Anderson says, Long Island, New York, Wolverine mom. Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much, Julie. We appreciate that. And with the name Anderson, you must be affiliated with Jake Anderson. So Jake is playing tonight. Uh-oh. Jake Day says we're canceled. Oh no. I shouldn't have mentioned it. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I tell you something that's funny, but let me tell you something. When I call games for a baseball team in the summer, little Xenia, Ohio, it's a summer league, college age minor league. They're not paid because they're college students that play during the summer. But I used to be a disc jockey. I used to work right here in Springfield years ago, 1989, 90, 91, 92. And we had oldies. We had a playlist of 3,000 songs. Well, so we got another message. Nicole Costelk says, Go Flyers. And Luis Sclafani says, Love those high school Jesuit hockey players. Go Flyers. Thanks, Louise. We appreciate hearing from you. Where I'm going with this and where this goes with the canceled business, the guys at the ballpark, between innings, they play music, over the PA. And I started getting in a habit when they play old stuff that I would know. When they play new stuff, I didn't have any idea what it was. They'd play old stuff, and I started to back announce because I used to disc jockey on the radio. And I would back say, oh, that's such and such, from, I remember this is from 1983, so and so group, and so I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not even going to, in just as an example, say any groups or any song titles. We got knocked off. We got knocked off. After the game got wiped out, and we found out it was music licensing. Yeah. But we don't either. I mean, with that baseball team, we didn't either. So I thought, hey, I'm showing off my music knowledge to my listeners. Yeah, this is so and so, the blankety blank band from 1985. I remember this, folks. And gosh darn almighty, if after the game got erased from YouTube. Son of a gun. So you say we're canceled. I'm saying, maybe we will be. I don't know. What else we got? We got Matt Altoff watching from good old South Dakota. Looking for sea bass on the ice. That's Sebastian Altoff. Loving the Michigan geography lesson from producer Jeff Duford. And historian. And telling I bet he could tell some Denny's stories. Yeah, we'll get canceled from that. Jeff Duford will be telling us off-color stories from Denny's in Canton, Michigan about terrible things. Oh, good Lord Almighty. Well, okay. Okay. Well, now we am all South Dakota. That's another. Have we seen that before? South Dakota? No kidding. Now is Sebastian Altoff, Sebastian from there? Yeah, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Oh, Sebastian Altoff. Yeah, he told me his name's Seabass. And we got a message from Sandip Kathari. Thanks for the play-by-play. You're welcome, Sandip. Go Blue. And Sandip is affiliated with Michigan Wolverine player uh, Kathari, Taj Kathari, out of South Jenison, Michigan. So, and we also got a message from Brian Jones watching from Oak Lawn Ice Arena in Oak Lawn, Illinois. Says, "Go Flyers." Well, thank you very much, Brian. We appreciate it. Okay, and we're about ready to start. I'm just making sure we're still on the air. We're still okay, folks. We're all set. 1-0. The Dayton Flyers lead it. Second period is underway with the drop of the puck. Puck shot in the Michigan zone from the opening draw. Shot on net, steered aside by goalkeeper Grant Newhart. And the Flyers out shooting, or rather, the Wolverines out shooting the Flyers in the first period 11-10 unofficially. Rubishko tried to carry the puck out for Dayton. Flyers hold it in. Now coming out with it for Michigan is Jack Glenn. He carries in the Dayton zone. There's a shot on net. Studnicka the save. And the goal scoring in the first period, the Flyers, Colin Umhafer. With his, for Colin, it was his second goal of the season. And we got a message from Katie Rubishko, watching from Minnesota. Go Blue. And we just mentioned young Mr. Rubishko. That's Caden Rubishko out of South Lakeville, Minnesota. So nice to hear from Katie Rubishko. Well, Colin, the player is from South Lakeville. And a couple of players go down in the Michigan zone. A shot around to the far side by Suggs. Flyers trying to hold it in the Wolverine zone. A couple of players fighting for it. Ployce of Dayton and Forstner of Michigan. Flyers trying to keep the puck in the Michigan zone, and it turns out to be an icing violation on that play. And a minute 56 seconds into the second period, and there will be a face-off in the Dayton zone to the right of goalie Jack Studnicka, who's played every game of the season for the Dayton Flyers. Shot, pad save. I did see freshman Jackson Short practicing in the warm-ups, and he was looking like he was trying to sharpen up as well. Jack Studnicka, like I mentioned earlier last period that Jack has really sharpened up as the season has gone on. There's a blast from the left point, a one-timer shot that's blocked on defense. Flyers coming back. Puck flipped up high behind the Wolverine net. Cathari tried to shoot it out. Flyers hold it in. There's a puck right in front of the Wolverine net. Rutherford trying to get a whack at it, but the Wolverines come back. Larson will dump it in the Dayton zone. We're 3 minutes into the period. 1-0 Dayton. The Flyers in the white sweaters with the Columbia blue and red trim and the red trunks. And of course, the Wolverines in all navy blue with the maize trim. There's a shot by Vanderost of Dayton that's wide, of Michigan that's wide. Puck fought for in the corner now. Wolverines again with the puck way at the other end. Sometimes I can't tell who's got it. Sometimes can't tell where the puck is down there. It's a centering pass, and they score. And it looks like Cullen Corr, Corr, was positioned in the slot area between the face-off circles. A one-time shot from the centering pass, and it's a tie game now at 1 apiece. Cullen Corr, senior out of Dallas, Texas, his first goal of the season. Cullen Corr of Dallas, Texas. Puck flipped over the boards onto the Dayton bench. That will result in a face-off. So 1 apiece. Dayton coming in 2 wins, 10 losses, and the Wolverines 9 wins, 5 losses. Of course, their NCAA Division I team, the Wolverines, one of the best in the nation. They're ranked number 3 in the country, the NCAA Division I Wolverines. Puck flipped and stolen away by Burke of Michigan. Then he's checked. Flyers come back. Nice pass or play in between the legs of one of the Wolverines by Smith, but then he lost the handle, gets it back, centers for Lapari, but it's off his stick, and now the Wolverines come back. It's Suggs. Suggs flips into the Dayton zone. After it, Schutte. He comes up with it in the corner. Schutte then bumped off the puck. Puck centered again, and we've got a whistle. And we have a penalty. Do we have a penalty? Yes, against Dayton. And it looks like, I couldn't make out the number. It says 11. So that would be Brett Smith. So it looks like a penalty on Brett Smith. And a message from Steve Stabnick, NHL players from Canton, Michigan. Currently there are 2. There will be 3 next year, when a third Hughes brother, currently playing with Michigan, joins his brothers. And the current score of the NCAA Michigan game is 2-1 Michigan over Ohio. Do we have a second penalty on Dayton? That's not good. Doesn't give the number, and it looks like, is that right? Brett Smith's? Is that like a misconduct thing? So, holy cats almighty, a 10-minute penalty on Smith, and then there's another penalty. Doesn't give the number. So right now, it is 5 on 4. Are both of those penalties on Smith? 2 and 10. Okay, so yeah, they're both on Smith. So the Wolverines on a power play. They've tied the game up in this period 1-1. There's a shot by Matthews that's deflected wide. We're at 14 and a half to go in the period. There's a shot from the point by Larson that's blocked. Back to get it for the Wolverines club team is Larson. That's Vince Larson. Like a shot into the left wing corner of the Dayton zone. And the Flyers clear it out the length of the ice. And back to get it is Tyson Suggs of Michigan. Suggs passes on the left wing for, it looks like, Jones. There's a pass in front, pad save on a shot by Studnicka. And the Wolverines have to chase it back at the other end. Tyson Suggs, right wing pass for Vanderost. Ethan Vanderost carries into the Dayton zone on right wing. Side of the net, centers. And a tip is wide. Another shot in front, I believe, that Studnicka got a piece of. Now Suggs dumps in behind the Dayton net. One of the Wolverines goes down along the end boards. And a delayed penalty on Dayton as Newhart headed to the bench. And for Dayton, it looks like I didn't see the number. So it looks like one penalty's been killed off by Dayton. But there is another penalty. So the Flyers having to kill off back-to-back power plays for Michigan. We're all tied up at 1. 12:45 to go in period number 2. We are emanating from the National Parks and Rec Chiller in Springfield, Ohio. There's a shot. Pad save. Rebound. Pad save. Brett Smith, who had a penalty a few minutes ago, but is back on, and he nearly scores a goal. A couple of big chances, 2 big saves by Newhart. And the whistle blows. Puck apparently flipped up over the glass. Or no, it's right in on net. And goalkeeper Studnicka has it. Trevor Schudy, Shoudy, taking the draw for Michigan. He wins it back to Larson. There's a shot by Cathari that's wide of the mark. Cathari holds it in. Or no, that's not Cathari. I'm sorry, that's Matthews. Number 6, not number 5. Matthews dumps it into the corner for Nick Jones. He drops it back to the point. Matthews. There's a strip by the Flyers. Kind of trying to come back the other way. Now the Wolverines regain possession at center. There's a shot the other way off the stick of Wolverine Brandon Stabnik that's wide. Half a minute left in the Michigan man advantage. The puck comes in on Studnicka, and he'll cover it up. 11:26 to go in the period. The goal scorers, it's been Colin Umhafer of Dayton and Cullen Corr, Corr, of Michigan. Jake Day says, oh, cool, let's have some more penalties. Might see the power play end by Christmas. There's a tip at the other end, and they score. Slap shot from the point. Thanks, Jeff. I was looking at the chats and I didn't even see the shot. It looks like it was number 21, Ben Forstner. Have to go by if any of the viewers notice it was anybody else, but I'm going by who was in the congratulation line first. It looks like Forstner, Ben Forstner, senior out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. His second goal of the year, and the Wolverines, that's a power play goal. And the Wolverines take their first lead of the game at 2-1. Flyers started out the period keeping the puck in the Michigan zone, but now a string of several penalties has turned things around. Now for Michigan, here's Anderson. Jake Anderson to center. Flips it in the Flyer zone at the other end. And the Flyers trying to get it out. They do. Here they come the other way. Martini, but he lost the puck behind him. Gillespie trying to shovel it back to Martini, but they're unable to hook up. A shot in the Michigan zone. Back to get it for the Wolverines is Matthews. Fisher Matthews. He shoots to center ice. Loose puck there. Schutte. Trevor Schutte. Rink wide pass at center is deflected off a stick all the way back behind the Dayton net. 2-1, the Wolverines visiting tonight. There's a shot on net, pad save by Studnicka. Wrist shot, and they score from the right point. Screenshot, Fisher Matthews. Another power play goal, and the Wolverines lead it 3-1. Fisher Matthews, Fisher spelled Fischer, out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, his second goal of the season. And we have a timeout by the Flyers, maybe. So the Flyers played an excellent first period. They led it 1-0 after one. And they started keeping the puck in the Michigan zone. But now a string of penalties have resulted in a couple of power play goals for the Wolverines. In this period, Core scored the tying goal, and then power play goals by Forstner and Matthews have really put the Wolverines in the driver's seat here in this second period. We're midway through the game now, 9:46 to go in the second, and things have completely turned around. Now the Wolverines lead it 3-1. Kent Jacobs with you from the chiller in Springfield. It's a home game for the Flyers, and these two teams will get together tomorrow evening in Canton, Michigan. There's a shot wide of the mark by Fisher Matthews. He was trying to score again. Here come the Flyers back the other way. Centering pass for Stuber is broken up by the Wolverine defense. Matthews, a pass for Huber gets through him. Flyers intercept. There's a pass over to the left wing circle. There's a trip. Nothing called. It looked like Rutherford may have incurred a penalty there. Here's a shot save by Newhart. Big save by Newhart. Flyers had a chance. And again, I thought Rutherford got tripped, but there was nothing called on this end. Now Rutherford drops it off. Hot. Oh, a shot right on, and it's snared out of the air by Grant Newhart. Newhart spelled Neuhardt. Grant Newhart playing in his second game, and right now his goals against is at its average, 1 goal. Came into the game with a 1 goal even goals per game against him. And an exemplary goals against in over just one game of 950. Wolverines trying to hit double digits on wins this season. They're at 9-5. Trying to keep pace with some of the other top teams in the Tri-State Collegiate Hockey League, like Miami, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. And one of the Flyers is down on the ice, and I think, are we going to have a penalty? Which Flyer is down on the ice on his knees? Now he's back up. Flyers don't have numbers on their sleeves, so it's sometimes hard to. They have to have their back to me before I can see who it is. Okay, we've got a penalty on Michigan. It is on Owen Collins, a junior out of Darien, Connecticut. The injured Flyer on his feet and back to the bench. Again, I couldn't tell who that was. Big power play for the Flyers, and they have a face-off in the attacking zone from the face-off. Smith, the Ward, a shot blasted wide from the right point. Centering pass intercepted by the Wolverines and shot off a body to center ice by Pizzatello of Michigan. Flyers need to get back on the board on this power play. Here is cutting behind the net, Spencer DeLeo. Drop pass, and it's back through center. It's Flyers have to circle back, and the puck comes all the way in on net. That records as a shot on goal by Ward, but it was an inadvertent shot. It was just off a stick or a skate, and it just came in on Newhart. 1:16 left in the man advantage for Dayton. 7:01 to go. Period number 2 with the visiting Michigan Wolverines up 3-1. From the draw, shot up high over the glass. Rifle shot from one of the Flyers. That was. I can't tell who that was. Face off, right wing circle of the Michigan zone. Forstner takes the draw against Stuber of Dayton. Play held in along the blue line. Pass back to Kostelk. Along the boards, Kostelk drops it for Stuber. Back to Kostelk. Kostelk, right point. Shot! Tipped! And a save made by Newhart off his blocker as it was deflected in on him. Very dangerous play that the Flyers almost scored on. Flyers pass through traffic off the boards to Bradley. Bobby Bradley, whistle. And a Flyer is down, and it looks like Big Ted Stuber. He is down on the ice. Boy, that the Flyers could ill afford to lose Big Ted. He's been a stalwart. Hopefully Ted is okay. He is in some measure of discomfort at this point. Ted, a graduate student who attended the Ohio University, but is a graduate law student here at Dayton and is playing on the Flyer team. The Flyers have been lucky to have him this season. He's been a big factor in a couple of their wins. Tom Stuber. I'm sorry, I'm saying Ted Stuber. I beg your pardon. Tom Stuber out of Rocky River, Ohio, up in the Cleveland area, and now he's skating off the ice. Looks like a hand injury, hand or wrist. He's holding his left wrist, so maybe he went into the boards hard or it hit the ice hard. So big Tom Stuber looks like he's going to leave the bench and head for medical attention. Well, hopefully Tom will be okay. He's like I say, he's been a big factor in their wins this season. Wolverines have it. There's Matthews. Shoots down the ice into the Dayton zone. Flyers on a power play for another 13 seconds. Pass flipped back to center, and the Wolverines will dump it right back in. Now here's Rabishko trying to slide it out of the Flyers zone. It's shoveled back in and making a catch like an outfielder in baseball of a fly ball. Was reaching up over his head and making the catch is netminder Grant Newhart. And I don't know if I'm sorry, I don't know have I right Mr. Stuber's name right or not. I've got Tom on one roster and Ted on the other, so I've been calling him Ted. 5:15 to go in the period. Flyers penalties killed off by Michigan. Here's a shot by Martini right on net from a bad angle, but right on, and it's caught by Newhart. Flyers need to get on the board before the end of this period to cut the lead to 1. They led 1-0 after 1, but 3 unanswered goals by the Maize and Blue. 2 of them power play goals have staked netminder Grant Newhart to a 3-1 lead. Here's Martini, drops the puck off for DeLeo. DeLeo chops it in behind the Michigan net, wraps around to the corner. Loose puck now opposite corner. There is Cathari. He clears it out at center ice for Schulman. Schulman carries in. Now there's an injured Wolverine down on the ice. It looks like that is Cullen Core. Cullen Core, he's down on the ice. So we've seen Ted Stuber leave the playing surface for Dayton, and now Cullen Core. He is on his feet. Let's see if he's going to stay on the bench. Or if he is leaving. Looks like he's. Well, I can't tell if he left the bench or if he's on the bench. So face off on the center red line, and Flyers have it from the draw. At center, it's dumped in the Michigan zone. Wolverines back to get it, but there's DeLeo trying to wrestle the puck away from Collins. Puck kicked over to Larson. Larson of Michigan. Pass along the left wing boards. He gets it back. He shoots down the ice, and that is intended for Collins. Collins chases it down. Icing waved off. Collins hits the ice. Now back for Michigan is Kristen. Kristen shoots ahead into the Dayton zone, or it looks like Burke. He's checked. Flyers come back. There's a weak shot from a bad angle by Pompina that's steered aside by Newhart. Now here is a shot on net by from the right point by it looks like Bichetti, and that's gloved by Newhart. 3 minutes, 31 seconds left in the second period with the Wolverines up 3-1. From the face-off shot, save, rebound, and it's swept out of harm's way by Matthews of Michigan before one of the Flyers could get a tip on it. Pass for Kostelka's past him off the boards. Wolverines get it at in their own zone. Pizzatello had it. He's checked. Loose puck. Pizzatello gets it back. He's poke checked away. Gets it back. Sends it to the opposite corner for Matthews, who shoots down the ice, and that'll be an icing violation on the Michigan Wolverines. Uh-oh. What's going on? What's happening? Are we on? My screen froze. Okay. Hmm. Puck shot to center ice. It gets through Gillespie, and that'll be a icing violation on the Wolverines. Oh, the screen's frozen on my phone. Is it the Wi-Fi? Oh, it's my phone. Oh, okay. Okay. Face off in the Michigan zone. It's picked up there by Fisher Matthews. Pass for Huber. Huber dumps it down the ice to center. Picked up there for Michigan by Forstner. Then Forstner. They'll shoot in the Dayton zone. 2:14 to go in the period. Martini trying to pick it up at center on a pass that skips over his stick, and now Matthews will dump right back in the Dayton zone with 2 minutes to play in the period. Strays over to the right wing corner in the Michigan zone. Robishko fighting for it. Comes out to the point. There's a shot by Matthews that's deflected wide. A minute and a half to go in the period. Play still in the Dayton zone at the far end. Puck wrapped around to the left wing side along the wall. Trying to hold it in at the left point for Michigan is Schutte. One of the Flyers hits the ice. That's Ployce. Flyers have not been able to sustain much offensive activity. There's under a minute to go in the period. Icing waved off. Aiden Ward for Dayton chases the puck down. He's being shadowed by Schutte. Ward wraps it around to the left wing side, and it's dumped right back into the corner. Flyers clear it. Icing waved off. Puck played there by Ethan Vanderoost of Dayton. He has it stripped away. Aiden Ward for the Flyers trying to wrestle around with Vanderoost. Puck skits down the ice. Played by Mark Bichetti of Dayton. 15 seconds left in the period. There's Brett Smith. Rink wide pass at center. Off a stick. Ward for Smith. Trying to make a play. Behind the net. Center by McClemens. A shot. And the save by Newhart. Oh, Liam McClemens with a nifty pass at the buzzer in front. Flyers got a tip on it, but Newhart was equal to the task, and he makes the stop. And after 2 periods of play in Springfield, it is the Michigan Wolverines 3 and the Dayton Flyers 1. And if you're having any type of problems with our stream, Jeff is working on it. We have a problem. Oh, you okay? Wonder why that is. Well, Jeff's it's fine on Jeff's phone. My phone is conked out. Oh, now here it is. Now it's okay. Now there I am. Why it froze up, I don't know. Okay, folks. Well, things were looking good for the Flyers after the first period. It was 1-0. They scored late, right near the end of the period, and played a very strong period. Shots right now, unofficial, 21 apiece. So we'll go over the scoring. First period, it was Colin Umhafer. And Colin Umhafer, his second goal of the season. Colin hails from Long Island, New York. And Mr. Umhafer is a freshman. So we look forward to hopefully a bright career of 4 years of hockey for Colin Umhafer here at UD. And second period started out pretty good for the Flyers. They in the first part of the period they were maintaining a lot of offensive activity down here, but then Cullen Core, senior out of Dallas, Texas, his first goal of the season, that tied it up. And then there was a string of several penalties on Dayton and a couple of power play goals. First one by Ben Forstner, senior out of Grand Rapids, his second goal of the season. And then big shot by Fisher Matthews. Fisher, a junior out of Steamboat Springs, Colorado, his second goal of the season. And that gave the Wolverines their existing 3-1 lead. So they flipped things from behind 1-0 to up 3-1 after two. We'll see what words of wisdom Coach Morris has for the Flyers in this intermission. And see if the Flyers can turn things around. They've made a couple of big comebacks this season. Last home game against the Ohio Bobcats, they were down 5-1. Um, at the end, in the second period, they were down 5-1, and then they cut it to 5-2 after two, and then they rallied for 3 goals in the third to tie it up, and then played a scoreless 5-minute overtime in which they had a power play in that overtime, I couldn't quite get the winning goal, and then played a marathon shootout session where, of course, normally there's just 3 rounds of shooters, just 3 shooters in a normal shootout, but the score continued to be tied. If Dayton got a goal, so did Ohio. Or if Flyers didn't score, then Ohio didn't score. And that went on for somewhere around 9 or 10 rounds before finally the Bobcats came away with a goal to be awarded the winning goal to win it 6-5. But uh, and then a few weeks ago, the Flyers played Miami and came from down 2-0, and then 3-1, and came back and tied it, and then won it 4-3. So the Flyers have a couple of nice comebacks this season. So we'll see if they can cook one up here in the third. Let's see. Got a message from Luis Glafani. Love the nifty pass from Liam McClemens. Number 20, let's win in this third period. Jake Day says, I was told there would be Wolverines, but I do not see Patrick Swayze or Charlie Sheen anywhere. False advertising by Michigan. So, of course, Patrick Swayze is no longer with us. But Charlie Sheen, I I was at a Cincinnati Reds baseball game. This is back probably about 10 years ago. Back when the Reds were good and they won their division that year. But Charlie Sheen, of course, if you're not familiar, the Sheen family, Martin Sheen and Charlie, they're from Dayton. And Charlie Sheen's birth name Estevez, and took on a stage name Sheen, and then changed his name to be that. And then Charlie Sheen um, has that as his last name. But then Emilio Estevez, the younger brother, took the dad's Martin's original name. But at any rate, I was at a Cincinnati Reds game about 10 years ago, and who shows up in the press box, and they show him on the jumbotron is Charlie Sheen. And they're big Reds fans. Of course, Martin Sheen being from Dayton, back from in the Big Red Machine era, when I'm from in the 70s. I was born in '65. Of course, Martin Sheen is probably at least a good 10 or 15 years older than I am. But um, but all of us, I'm from a suburb of Dayton, and anybody who was around back then when you were in Southwest Ohio, Dayton is about 45 minutes north of Cincinnati, and we were all Reds fans and a big Red Machine. Pete Rose and Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, George Foster, Davey Concepcion, all those guys, Griffey, Geronimo, on and on, Sparky Anderson. Were big fans back then. So Charlie, who is my age, he grew up with the Big Red Machine too, and so he's always been a big Reds fan. And so mind how Jake Day says Charlie Sheen may be showing up tonight, but he did show up at a Reds game when I was there one time about 10 years ago. Jake Day, another message. This is more like Josh Peck and Chris Hemsworth Wolverines. Good, but will never be the original. So, Jake, okay. All right. I'll take your word for it, Jake. So we appreciate everybody's messages. We got a number of them earlier. We heard from Walsh Jesuit Hockey and several Michigan rooters, Steve Stabnick and and Judy Anderson and Sandup Kathari, um, Katie Rabishko. Nice to hear from everybody. From the Wolverine side. Nice to hear from them. And our Flyer fans, Steve Bradley, and we heard from Nicole Kostelk and Luis Sclafani, Matt Altoff, um, and Brian Jones, and Jake Day. So nice to hear from everybody, whether you're a Flyer fan or a Wolverine fan, for some Thursday night hockey. Like I say, the only thing about playing up here, this is a very nice rink up here. It's a newer rink. How long has this rink been up here, Jeff? Around 10 years? Of course, it was some of this building was something else before, right? Oh, really? Did they just build this place? Okay. It's a very nice facility. They've got bleachers on this one side. It's a long trip from Dayton. Somewhere around half hour, 40 minutes, where we're coming from in the Dayton area. So on a Thursday night, we don't have anybody here. They're the spectators. It's not good when you can count on one hand when you're doing the attendance. Attendance, what, six, 5 or 6? So it's not like when we're at Kettering and we usually have pretty full bleachers. We usually get at least, maybe close to 75 or so, 100 people maybe. So, but they will be back. Flyers next home game after this. That's a good thing to look up while we're waiting. I'm going to try to do that. Stand by, folks. Okay. Ooh, a big one. November 19th. So that is today's the 10th. So it'll be a Saturday night. November 19th against Ohio State at 7 o'clock. Now, that game, I expect a pretty darn good crowd. Yeah, the 19th is a Saturday night, a week from Saturday, 7 o'clock, Flyers v. Buckeyes. So that's gonna be a big one. But the Flyers concentration right now has to be on these Michigan Wolverines as they trail it 3-1. They led 1-0 after one, but then 3 unanswered goals by the Wolverines. And that's where we are at as we just begin the final 20 minutes of play. Jake Day says the student section at Kettering is certainly entertaining. You are correct. There's a shot and big save by Newhart at the other end. Boy, he has been only his second game, but he's played extremely well tonight. Here's Liam McClymans for Dayton. McClymans for Lapari. Give and go Ward into the Michigan zone. And he's gone! Aiden Ward. A big, big goal for the Flyers to get back in the game. Aiden Ward, the sophomore out of Buffalo, New York. For Aiden, that's his fourth goal of the season. That is a big one. The Flyers cut the Michigan lead to 3-2. We've seen the Flyers come back a couple, two or three times this season from sizable deficits. Let's see if they've got another comeback in them right now. That's a good start. Here's Pichetti. Pass up ahead for Ward. It's past him. Wolverines dump back in. Puck ricochets from the corner boards right in front, picked up by Pichetti. Pass volleyed off a stick down the ice. Picked up for Michigan by Cathari. Now the Flyers take it back in the Michigan zone. There's Brett Smith, backhander. That's blocked in front. Gillespie tried to shovel the puck in front. It's broken up. Off a stick back into the Dayton zone, played by Rutherford. Pass up ahead for Constable, past him down the ice, and now shot cleared the other way by the Wolverines, and that is an icing violation. 17:35 to go in the third period. Yeah, message from Jake Day. The student section at Kettering and for UD is certainly entertaining. They are. A pretty raucous group as they hang on the glass on the across the from our press box area. Now here's a puck stolen by the Wolverines in the Dayton zone, but now they have to retreat. The puck came out of past the blue line. Wolverines attack again. Here's a shot. Pad save. Now another blast. Right on, and it's gloved by Jack Studnicka. Goal by Aiden Ward gives the Flyers a goal that cuts the Michigan lead to 1. Schutte loses the draw. Flyers get it. Now it's taken away by Michigan. Pass by Glenn into the left wing corner. Flyers trying to get it out. Stolen away. And a giveaway in the defending zone. The team's just playing hot potato with it. There's a shot blocked on defense by Ployce. Wolverines regain possession, but it's over a stick and stolen by DeLeo. DeLeo cutting down the ice into the Michigan zone. He gets ambushed by 2 Wolverines before he could get a shot away. And Michigan clears it. Wolverines change on the fly. Pass by Bradley is past Martini down the ice, and that'll be an icing against Dayton. 16:15 to play in regulation. Face off to the left of Jack Studnicka, Spencer DeLeo against Ben Forstner. Now Forstner tossed out. Now he's positioned. He wasn't thrown out. He just was taking a walk. Flyers win the draw, but it's taken away by Forstner. Trying to shoot it into the right wing circle. His pass is deflected to the left wing corner. Forstner gets it back. Has it stripped from behind by Ployce. Loose puck in the corner. Martini trying to get it out. Wolverines have it. The shot is blocked from all the players in front of the slot area. Now Bobby Bradley trying to hit Anthony Martini with a breakout pass at center, but it's a little too far ahead of him. It comes on net, and it is a save made by Newhart, but almost a big breakout chance. If Bradley could have hit Martini, Now we've got a penalty on Dayton, so that play wouldn't have yielded anything anyhow since there's a penalty. 2 minutes. Did you see? Looked like they were calling a slash on one of the Flyers. So power play for the Wolverines. They try to add to a 1 goal lead. Here's Huber. Huber checked by Smith. Brett Smith, and he's checked. Huber has it. It's dropped back to the left point. Now back left wing circle. Center point. Screenshot save. Rebound is loose and tipped wide. Big chance for the Wolverines. Now Schutte drops it back to the point. One time blast and a save. Holy cats almighty. Big shot by Matthews and save made by Studnicka. 1:15 left in the Michigan power play. Here is Forster Matthews. Or Fisher Matthews, I beg your pardon. I don't know where I got Forster. Wolverines back in the Dayton zone. There's pass back to the circle is goes awry. Keller fighting for it, or Nellis rather. Coming away for it for Dayton was Tom Rutherford. He's trying to hit Castell. Castelco chop it in the Michigan zone. Half a minute left in the Michigan power play. There's a pass to the left point. Now center point. Now right wing circle centered for Nellis for a tip, but it's behind him. Chasing it down, Collins of Michigan drops it back to the point, and the Wolverines unforced error. Forster has to check back at center ice. Now Forster trying to shovel it in, shot, save. There's a pass right in front. A shot is wide by Forstner, and he looks up to the sky saying, "Oh, I just missed it." Penalty killed off by Dayton. Several big chances for the Wolverines to add to their lead, but Studnicka either making the save or the Wolverines missing the net. Here's Brett Smith across neutral ice. Cutting in, backhander, save by Newhart. Puck centered again, gets through the slot area, untouched. 13 minutes to play in the third period. There's a trip. Nothing called there. Holy cats almighty. Guy, a Flyer player had his feet taken right out from under him by a stick of one of the Wolverines. I guess the refs could say there's going for the puck, maybe. I don't know. Chasing the puck down for the Wolverines was Anderson, and we've got a whistle as the puck comes in on net, and it's played by Studnicka. He covers it up. Now, one thing about this refereeing crew, they've let them play. There's only been a few penalties. Of course, the Flyers got hit by several of them in the second. Schutte takes the draw against Lipari. Schutte wins it. Puck shot behind the net, intended for Jack Glenn, but it's past him. Flyers come back. Here's a shot by Ward, and it's wide. Ward scored earlier in the period. Ward behind the net, wrestling with a couple of Wolverines. Ward trying to fight off a check. Drops the puck off along the boards. There is Klimans was fighting for it. Now it's here come the Wolverines the other way. Oh, there's a fan on a centering pass by Schutte. Now we've got a cross-check minor against someone. Looks like Bobby Bradley of Dayton. So Bobby Bradley, the team captain of the Flyers, will head to the box for a couple of minutes for cross-checking. Got a message. Adversity. Dayton, the first rankings were just posted. Corinne Pichetti says, "Do you know if tomorrow's game will be streamed?" No, I'm afraid not, Corinne. It's up in. Oh, streamed by Michigan. I'm sorry. Jeff just told me it'll be streamed by Michigan. So not on the Dayton Flyers channel, but on one of the. Oh, no. A tip and they score, and it was friendly fire. It's, I believe, will be. Let's see who the Wolverines score, and I believe it was tipped in, might have been by one of the Flyers, but it looks like Jimmy Nellis is going to get credit for the goal. That's a power play goal, the third power play goal of the game by the Wolverines, and it was a innocent shot from a bad angle at the base of the left wing circle, and it ricocheted. I believe it ricocheted off one of the Flyers' sticks, but that was a tough one. So it's now 4-2 in favor of the Wolverines. There's a centering pass. Nobody there for the tip. But the Stelk after the puck, but it's going to come in on goal and a save made by Stundika. He leaves it for teammate Declan Ployce. Nifty move around Pizzatello. Now for Rutherford into the Michigan zone. Shot. Save by Newhart. He pins the puck to his blocker pad with his catching mitt. But yeah, Corinne Pichetti, we're told that it will be streamed by University of Michigan's D2, their Division II channel. Thanks, Steve Stabnick. Thanks for that message. So I can't say that. um, Corinne, if you look that up on YouTube, I would say University of Michigan D2 or ACHA D2 channel. You should be able to find it tomorrow evening. But it will not be us. It will be the Michigan crew doing the game. So we are approaching the midway point of this third period. The Flyers had cut the lead to 3-2, but then there's a shot by Brett Smith. Save, and down on his knees is Newhart. He covers it up. But a goal, and I believe it's credited to Jimmy Nellis, Jr. out of Park Ridge, Illinois. And if he did score, that's unofficial. If it was Nellis, that would be his fifth goal of the season. Nellis spelled Nelles. From the face-off, way down in the Michigan zone. Wolverines trying to come back with it. There's a puck flipped up over the glass by Wolverine Brandon Stabnick. And we got shots, Jeff's unofficial shots on goal, 27 apiece. Now for Dayton, it looks like Alex Pompina wins the faceoff. Here's Brett Smith, circles around and gets checked off the puck by Collins of Michigan. Now Umhafer, he's ridden out of the play into the end boards by Larson of Michigan. Loose puck at center. Flyers need to get some time in the attacking zone. Here come the Wolverines. Centering pass, nifty backhand centering pass by Stabnick of Michigan, but nobody there for the tip. Flyers regain possession in their own zone. Here's Mark Bichetti. Bangs it off the boards at center for McClymans, but it's past him. Flyers, ooh, dangerous pass right in front of the net is controlled by Ployce. Boyce trying to get around a couple of Wolverines for Ward. Ward to McClymans. McClymans shot. Pad save. Rebound is still live in the Michigan zone. Flyers chip it back in. Ward for Lipari. Lipari has it stripped away. Flyers get it back. Ward trying to center it, and it's off a stick, and back come the Wolverines. 8.5 to play in regulation. 4-2 Michigan in the dark blue uniform. Here's McClymans, takes a rink-wide pass on the right wing. Over the Wolverine line, trying to center it. And it's intercepted and cleared down the ice. Off a stick, there's McClymans. Drops it off to Rutherford. Rutherford will dump it in, try to chase it down. Rimmed along to Bradley along the left wing boards. Shoots into the opposite corner. And it comes to center. Flyers have to retreat back. Under 8 minutes to play. Banged off the boards. Back into the Dayton zone. Joe Kostelk for Dayton, number 12. He'll bang it off the dasher to center. Kostelk gets the puck back, and he'll just dump it in. And then he's tripped up and goes down. He looks at the ref, says, "Hey, come on, man." Nothing called. Back come the Wolverines. There's a poke check away by Boyce. Wolverines get possession and dump it back in. Boyce, number 4. Boyce, Pleuss. How to spell that? Wolverines get possession at center ice, and a whistle. We've got, what do we have, a cross check? Looks like a Wolverine. Or is he going on the bench or going in the box? Larson? Looks like, did he go in the box or the bench? No, the box. So it looks like Vince Larson, a junior out of Rochester, Michigan, heads to the box for 2 minutes for, I think he called a cross check. Big power play for the Flyers. They need to score on this one with under 7 to go in regulation. Spencer DeLeo into the Michigan zone behind the net. He's tripped up and goes down. Here come the Wolverines. Short-handed. Chance. Shot. Oh, that was Nellis, and his shot pad saved by Stednica, and I almost thought it might deflect off his pads, but he was able to keep it underneath him. That the angle of that shot and the way it hit his pads, I was afraid it might go between his legs, but he was able to keep it underneath him. Flyers have it Boyce. Headman's Rutherford on the right wing. He'll dump it in. Puck rims around to the near side for Rabishko. He clears. Flyers Boyce at center. Gets it back. Declan Ployce circles around, trying to get through the defense. Poke check. He's tripped up and goes down. Nothing, man. I guess tripping is not a penalty anymore, I guess. Here's Schulman stealing the puck away. Schulman checked into the boards by Kostelk. Puck prodded away, and there was Schutte trying to get a tip on the puck that came up in front of the Dayton net. 45 seconds left in the Dayton power play. But the Wolverines seem to be kind of the aggressors at this point. There's a big check on Kostelk. He got hit twice, and now he's going to fight back. He got hit twice. And, of course, usually it's the retaliation that gets caught. So let's see what happens. I'm sure Kostelk is going to go in. Let's see if they put any of the Wolverines in. And Kostelk is complaining. He got hit twice. He got checked into the boards, which is okay, but then another Wolverine came in and got the old second check in on him, which is not okay. But then Costelk fights back, and it looks like there will be a Michigan player going in, or is there? The door's open. Costelk, after got hit twice, decided to turn and go after one of the Wolverines, so he goes in. And now they are referee Wilkinson having a word with the scorers table. There should be a roughing minor on one of the Wolverines on that second hit on Costelk. Flyer captain Bobby Bradley and Aiden Ward, they are discussing things with the other officials. Ty the Tank Wilkinson is having a word with the scorers table. The door is open. I am thinking that there's a Wolverine that's in there. They're still talking about it. Jake Day says, ask the refs if they need glasses. I've got a few extra pairs, and he can be here in 20 minutes. Jake will have to do that. Send a message, Jeff, down to the scorers table and ask the officials to delay the game for 20 minutes. So some new eyewear can be provided. Don't like to say anything bad about the officials, but man alive, I'd swear there's been two or three really blatant trips that they haven't caught. And did they not put a Wolverine in the box? Okay, so if that's matching roughing, and that would fit. I mean, obviously, Kostelka, the Flyers, needed to get a penalty. I mean, he was punching at one of the Wolverines, but it's because he was retaliating for getting hit a second time. So looks like matching penalties. We didn't see who the Wolverine was that was was put in, but the door was open. I saw number 14. That would be Cullen Core, but I'm not sure if he's the one that got put in or not. So do we have 4-on-4 out there? Yeah, looks like we do. Yeah, Costel. Is it? One, two, three. Yeah, it's 4-on-4. I only see four Wolverines out there. Oh, so what happened? Oh, the original penalty from the power play. Okay, so we will be 4-on-4. Here's Brett Smith picking up a loose puck. Flyers need to get on the board, down by 2. Here's Martini. Martini works around a check behind the Wolverine net. Ridden into the boards there by Rabishko. They didn't post the penalties, so we don't know when those will expire until we actually see the players come out. Now we've got another whistle. What do we have? Offside or what happened? Okay, offside. Offside Wolverines at the Dayton blue line. Well, Jake Day says, "Oh, screw it. Let's brawl. Go Flyers. Goalies too." So Jake wants to see a brawl. He almost did. Stelk got a couple of shots in after he was hit that second time. We almost had a little bit of a melee. Flyers need to get something going. McClymonds, and that's offside at the Michigan blue line. Looks like maybe Althoff might have been ahead of the play. Or no, he's not out there. It might have been Lapari in ahead of the puck. Puck shot in the Dayton zone near end to us. There's Collins trying to take the puck away. It skitters all the way to the opposite wing. Shot inadvertently blocked by one of the Michigan teammates. Now here's a chance. Oh, and a big check by Lapari to upset a scoring chance by Nellis. Here's McClymon's trying to get a shot, and that's blocked by Larson. Here's Pichetti of Dayton. He'll flip it in. 3.5 to go in regulation. Flyers need a goal to cut it to 1. They trail it 4-2. Somebody's glove on the ice now. It's picked up. Rory Brennan will shoot back to the Michigan line. Wolverines retake possession, dump in behind the Dayton net. For the Flyers, Pichetti, he's bumped by Schutte. For Dayton, Tom Rutherford. Rutherford straddles the line, shot, and a save made by Newhart. Rebound is still live, and it comes to center. 2:40 to go. Here are the Wolverines. Drop pass right in front, and it's tipped wide. Holy mackerel. That was Jack Glenn, and he is kicking himself. He just missed the left side post. Now here's another chance. Another tip. A missed tip by Glenn as he was checked from behind before he could get his stick on that puck. He had a good setup. So Jack Glenn almost scoring twice. There's a shot, save, and Jack Studnicka will hold on to it. 2:03 to play, and Rangers trail it by 2, 4-2. Spencer DeLeo will take the face-off against Mr. Jason Schulman of the Michigan Wolverines. Schulman from Staten Island, New York. Holy cow. From the draw, Flyers Martini has it swept away off of his stick. Spencer DeLeo plays it. DeLeo bangs it off the glass to center. 1:45 to go. Wolverines dump in. Back for Dayton is team captain Bobby Bradley. Bradley will flip it high to center ice. After it for the Wolverines is Hayden Rabishko. Smith passes on left wing to DeLeo. He's checked. Wolverines are putting the clamp down on them now at this point, winning by 2. Loose puck comes all the way down behind the Dayton net. That'll be icing against Michigan. So now Jack Studnicka is on the bench in favor of an extra attacker. And do we have a timeout? So a Michigan timeout. We saw Dayton take a timeout way back in the midway through the second period. A minute 6 to go. Well, it's been a good game tonight. Certainly the Wolverines were favored coming in, being one of the top teams in the league in the TSCHL. But the Flyers, they've played well. They continue to battle, and they've played very well against several very good opponents. Miami, they won a game against Miami. They played Ohio University to 2-6-5 games, and Ohio U is one of the top teams in the league. And they're playing very well tonight against Michigan. Just a little bit short. 1 minute to play in regulation. Flyers, the extra attacker, running 4-2. Shot by Ployce is wide of the mark. A couple of players go down as they wrestle for it in the right wing corner of the Wolverine zone. 40 seconds left in this one. And the Dayton net is empty, but they've just been wrestling around with it in the corner. Flyers haven't really gotten a good chance with the extra attacker. Now the Wolverines trying to take it back. Flyers pick it up. As Gillespie shot it in the Dayton zone. 10 seconds to go. Wolverines a chance at the empty net, and it's just wide. That was Huber. Now just a couple of seconds left, and as the buzzer sounds, that'll be the end of this one. A good game tonight. Flyers again played them tough. They led it 1-0 after one, and the things kind of came apart in that second period. Got a message from Sandip Kathari, says thanks for the great telecast. Big win, go blue, and they did. They did go tonight. Sandip, thanks for the message. As the Wolverines guys have a good night. Good trip back to Michigan. And it was a big win tonight for the Wolverines. They win it 4-2 tonight. And that moves their record to 10-5 on the season. Flyers dropped to 2-11 on the mark. It is head coach Ryan Braun and Flyer head coach Tony Morris lead their teams out to the center ice for the handshakes. Good game tonight. The Flyers hung with them. It looked like things could have gone off the rails in the second period, but they hung back in there, and then a big goal by Aiden Ward at the beginning of this period cut it to 3-2. But then a really tough goal credited to Jimmy Nellis, shot from the left wing circle from a bad angle. It ricocheted off a stick, and it might have been one of the Flyer sticks, maybe. Um, that the puck ricocheted off of into the net for the fourth goal of the game. But again, Flyer goalkeeper Studnicka, again, he's going to lower his goals against. He came in with a mark tonight of 517, 5.17 goals a game, so that'll lower a little bit. And it has continued to lower as the season has gone on. And a great game tonight by the Michigan keeper, Grant Hart. He goes to 2-0 on the season. And he's another gun with up. The Wolverines have several goalies. And Newhart, that's just his second game. And he played very well tonight. The shots, 29 apiece on the game. And both teams get a goal in the third period. We'll go back over the goals, and then we'll have our three stars for the night. First of all, let's recap the goal scoring. We don't have all the assists, so we don't have those available. So we'll just go with the goal scorers. So in the first period, it was Colin Humphiefer for Dayton, and for Colin, his second goal of the season. That was on a great pass by Aiden Ward. And the Flyers, after one, led it 1-0. Then came the second period, which was the Flyers' undoing tonight. First goal by the Wolverines. Again, this is all unofficial. That's just what we're seeing up here. The referees may have credited goals to actually the other guys, but what we saw up here, Cullen Moore, his first goal of the season, a senior out of Dallas, Texas, and then a couple of three consecutive power play goals. Two more in the second period. Ben Forster, senior out of Grand Rapids, his second of the season, and Fisher Matthews, a junior from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, his second goal of the season. And after two, it was 3-1 Wolverines. And then in the third period, Aiden Ward for the Flyers, his fourth goal of the season. Aiden, he is a sophomore out of Buffalo, New York. And with that goal, the score was cut to 3-2. And then it was Mr. Nellis, Jimmy Nellis, with a backbreaker. Goal that was tipped in from that. He threw the puck in front, or someone threw the puck in front from the left wing circle. It bounced in off a stick or two. And Nellis, I believe, was credited with that goal. A power play goal. Uh, Jimmy out of Park Ridge, Illinois. If indeed he was credited with that goal, it would be his fifth of the season. So Jimmy Nellis having a very good season for these Wolverines. Well, let's see, 3 stars. This is going to be a interesting selection. Nobody had more than one goal, so it's going to be hard to. We got a message. Luis Sclafani says, "Thank you for your great commentary." Well, you're welcome, Luis. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I'm just talking to the paper on the desk. Um, Thanks, Louise, very much. UD parents really appreciate it. Well, that's very kind, and we thank you for that nice message. And we'll see you in Dayton next week against those Buckeyes. That's right, Louise. Flyers will have to get after it. They need to have a big win against the Ohio State Buckeyes. That'll be a week from Saturday on the 19th at 7 p.m. at Kettering Ice Arena. So 3 stars. I don't know what Valley Neds. This is really tough. Um, Nobody scored more than once. I know that 1 star is going to go to goalkeeper Grant Newhart. Uh, I'm just going to give him the number 1 star. So Grant Newhart will give him the number 1 star of the game, the winning goalie for Michigan, stopping 27 out of 29 shots. Let's see here. I'm going to give the number 2 star of the game to Aiden Ward of Dayton. Aiden scored a goal and he also assisted on one of the goals. Now we don't have all the assists; they don't announce them, so we don't know who the refs assigned all the assists to. But I do know he assisted on that first goal because he threw the puck in front and it was a tip by Umhafer on that nice centering pass. So we'll give that 2nd star of the game to Aiden Ward, and we'll give the number 3 star of the game. We'll give it to the player with really the game winning goal. Let's go Fisher Matthews. So the number 3 star Fisher Matthews from Michigan, the number 2 star Aiden Ward of Dayton, and the number 1 star of the game goalkeeper of the Wolverines, Grant Newhart. Um, really played fantastic tonight. 27 saves out of 29 shots. So thanks again, everybody, for all your messages. Whether you're a Flyer fan or a Wolverine fan, it's nice talking to everybody tonight. An exciting game, good game. Congratulations to the Wolverines. They had a great night, and the Flyers played them really tough. A good game by Coach Morris's Flyers tonight as well. They'll try to rebound tomorrow evening as these two teams play. What is it, Canton, New York, or Michigan? Canton, Michigan, tomorrow evening. And again, you guys can watch it on the University of Michigan ACHA D2 YouTube channel. We're not sure exactly the precise name of that channel, but if you look it up, I'm sure you'll find it. And so you can watch that game tomorrow evening. Then we will be back with you November 19th, Saturday night, 7 p.m. against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Should be a full house at the Rec Center Ice Arena. We're looking forward to that. So that'll wrap things up. I appreciate everybody's viewing and look forward to seeing you again for Dayton Flyer hockey. So speaking for engineer, historian, cameraman, producer Jeff Duford, and Michigan geographer, this is Kent Jacobs again reminding you the final score tonight. The Michigan Wolverines 4 and the Dayton Flyers 2. Until next time, good night, everybody, from the chiller.